Man, does it feel good to be making a video again. The only problem is, I told myself I was done making videos about this game. I've already made 3 videos about 3 completely different mods, and I figured that's probably enough videos about stuff relating to this game. But a few weeks ago, one of my favorite games of all time made a huge resurgence, and has reached its all-time player count peak after 8 years. That game is, of course, EA's Star Wars Battlefront 2. But back to the game I didn't want to make a video on. Contractors, the hottest VR shooter on the market. A long time ago, a mod came out that added Star Wars Battlefront to Contractors. For anyone who doesn't know what Battlefront is, it is basically EA's attempt to make a Battlefield game, but completely cover it in a coat of Star Wars paint. I never made a video on it because when I first played it, the mod was just clones and droids fighting each other with very limited weapons. But now, this mod features heroes to play as, including Anakin, Count Dooku, and even the Droideka. But if you thought it ends there, then you clearly haven't played Battlefront 2. Because if you haven't noticed already, I didn't say that there's vehicles in this mod. But there are, and it's cool as shit. But that's not why I'm making this video. I want to talk more about the resurgence of Battlefront. I think the biggest question about this game is, why is it only now hitting the highest player count it's ever had? And I think that's because people are genuinely stupid. Battlefront 2 is everything that a Star Wars fan would want from a game. I'll admit, it's missing some characters, but most of the cool ones are there. Almost all the guns you see infantry using in the movies are accessible, as well as their gadgets. Most of the spaceships that only need one pilot seen in the movies are in the game too, as well as some of the main character ships like the Slave One. Like I said, everything a Star Wars fan could want in a multiplayer Star Wars shooter is here. I just think that people are only now realizing that this is the case. Now, when it comes to the campaign mode, it's definitely lacking a bit there. The level design is fun, but the actual story is undesirable, to put it simply. This game also has 2 modes I want to talk about that genuinely fall into my top 3 game modes in any multiplayer game ever. These modes are Supremacy and Ewok Hunt, and for anyone curious, the other game mode in that top 3 is Safeguard from Black Ops 3. Supremacy is like a large match of conquest, if you're a Battlefield player, or Ground War Domination, if you're a COD player. But the difference here is that the team that wins the Supremacy match gets to board a transport ship and fly to the mothership of the opponent's team. They then get a chance to blow up the mothership by working their way to the heart of the ship and blowing up the generators. If they fail to blow up the ship, then they return to the main map and play another match of Conquest. The first team to blow up a mothership wins the game. And the other mode, Ewok Hunt, is the best take on infection in all of gaming. This isn't like normal infection, where the infected are super easy to see. Battlefront 2 makes infection a horror game. The not infected are stormtroopers, and their only light source is a tiny flashlight mounted to the front of their gun. The infected, the Ewoks, crawl and climb through the darkness and jump the stormtroopers by surprise. Making infected a horror game is the best decision I've ever seen in a video game since killing Micah in Red Dead 2. I'd also like to make a very hot take real quick. Battlefront 2 is the best EA game. I am being completely serious here. You do not need to make microtransactions to continue playing. You do not need to make microtransactions to be overpowered. The gameplay loop is fun, a genuine skill gap exists in the game, and it's not just a remake of its prequel. It is actually a sequel to the game that came before it, where everything is different and you're not just playing the same thing twice. I'm glad this game is back though, because it is one of my favorite games ever, and it deserves to have the extreme resurgence that it is having right now. And because I'm showing footage of the Battlefront 2 mod for Contractors, I do want to take a second to talk about it. It is a faithful recreation of the core gameplay loop of Battlefront 2. It doesn't feel like Contractors but with lasers. It feels like you are in Star Wars. And this now brings me to the ending section of the video, where I just want to talk about a sad truth. I don't think Battlefront 3 is going to be a thing, at least not for a while, because like I said earlier, Battlefront 2 has everything that a Star Wars fan could want from a Star Wars shooter. I think the only possibly likely thing that'll happen is EA might revisit Battlefront 2 and give it a bunch of content updates to please the fans. Maybe whenever the next generation of consoles come out, maybe they'll release a Battlefront 3, but I severely doubt it. If they even release anything for the next generation of consoles, it'll likely just be a remaster of the first or second Battlefront game. But yeah, that's all I want to say. Super sorry for not posting in a while. I've had a bunch of video ideas and I just didn't know which one to do. First it was going to be Arizona Sunshine, then it was going to be Mannequin, then Blade and Sorcery, then Green Hell, and now I've decided on doing this. If this ends up being the video out of the ones I just listed that comes out, that's kinda cool. I didn't think about this line at all. Yeah, that's all I want to say. If you enjoyed, please subscribe, give this mod a try. Hell, give Contractors a try if you haven't already. And wear your retainer nightly. Goodbye.